Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood for YouTube back with another Dark Shadows video for you guys and gals. And I'm here to continue my journey into 1841 parallel time with episode 1207. I know I'm going by episode, so I appreciate everybody for sticking with this. Um, the open voiceover, the narration is done by the late great John Carlin. He's the one who's been playing Kendrick Gunn. And his character is actually gonna be in this episode. Mainly so far, that's how this has been going. When you hear a voiceover, that person is generally in this episode. Now, so we start this off where the last episode left off. The duel. Once again, you see Bramwell extend his hand to Morgan. Again, Morgan doesn't shake his hand here either. They stay consistent with that, and I love that. Dark Shadows was known for its consistency, and it sticks with this. Um, they turn. You hear Morgan counting to 10 paces. They turn, and ladies and gentlemen, one of the worst camera angles ever. Not Morgan's, mind you. This is done. The vantage point is done from over Bramwell's shoulder. And to be honest, Morgan's account of this, he says that Bramwell lifted his pistol. Um, I've watched this episode 7 times back now, and I cannot honestly see Bramwell raise his pistol. I can't distinguish if Jonathan Frid did or character did or not. Maybe you guys can go back and take a look and catch it. I just can't make it out. I don't think it's poor lighting. I just think it's the camera angle, honestly. And I don't know why. I guess my guess to why they shot it like this is they knew, how the writers knew where they were going with this. I mean, they knew Bramwell was going to lose the duel, just not die. So they shoot it from over his shoulder. Um, I don't get why they just couldn't shoot this from Morgan's perspective. But I guess my guess is too they're wanting the suspense. They're wanting, um, more. They're wanting Morgan's standpoint of it, so you can determine whatever later. I guess that's my only alternative for this. My suggestion. If you disagree, please do. Um, so obviously, Bramwell loses the duel to Morgan, and the reason why is simple. He thinks about what Catherine had said to him in the prior episode. Catherine says, "If you kill Morgan, I will kill myself." Catherine, honey, I have just the hill for you. Its percentage of taking life is very high. Oh shit. No, but obviously Morgan shoots Bramwell because Bramwell thinks about he doesn't want Catherine to destroy herself. So he loses the duel on purpose. Bramwell does not die, obviously. Um, so after the shot, after we see Bramwell fall, we go back to we were at the Great House and we see Catherine Heritage, who's played by Laura Parker, obviously, and she's sort of nervous. She's pacing around, and here comes Daphne Heritage, her sister, and she's they're talking about the duel, and uh, Daphne says, "Didn't you try to stop it?" And you know, yeah, she did. Catherine even says, "Yes, I did, but neither men would listen." And she says, "I don't know why Bramwell persists." And she goes, "Oh, come on." I love what Daphne does here. She calls out Catherine that she really hasn't let go of feelings for Bramwell either, that she still loves Bramwell. And she goes, she goes, "No, I really do love Morgan." And she's been persistent in saying that. You got to give the character credit. Even though what Daphne's saying is a bit true, what Daphne doesn't potentially realize here is this whole time that Catherine's been at Collinwood or has been around Collinwood, she has been persistent in saying, "I want to marry Morgan." that has been going on throughout these episodes. So, and kudos to the writers for sticking to their guns, and Laura Parker's character too. I mean, she does a great job. She wants to marry Morgan. She's in love with Morgan. She's hell bent on marrying Morgan. And they're waiting, and the door opens, and Catherine, goes to the entryway of the foyer, and in between the drawing room and the foyer, and she sees Morgan standing there, and she's in shock, but she rushes to him and hugs him, and he's like, "So you thought it was Bramwell would be the one coming back too, huh?" And what he's really meaning there, and he explains this too, and I'll get into this, is that he thought Bramwell would be the one coming back. But you could sort of see that Catherine Heritage, who's played by Laura Parker, she says, "I didn't know what to think," and that's a fair assessment. Here's somebody who can't see what's going on because they're not there. They're not in that. They're not there when it happens. They're not at the duel site because the men didn't say where they were dueling. They kept that to themselves so nobody would interfere. And so nobody knew where the duel was being held. They just knew when it was being held. At dawn. At some. So Morgan says, "To be truth be told, I thought it would be Bramwell too. He was always best with a pistol." Can I just say officially, it's official now. Barnabas couldn't kill and shoot Angelique. Roger can't shoot or kill anybody. Morgan shoots Bramwell, only wounds him. No one in this family, in the Collins family, can shoot worth shit. That's just facts that you can't ignore. But Morgan explains. Morgan explains that Bramwell was always best with a pistol, and it's like, okay, you're sort of forced to take that explanation. And he says that according to Morgan, Bramwell did raise his pistol, but didn't fire. He doesn't understand why. And you sort of see Daphne's voice, and then you see Catherine's face, and it's like, it's because of me. You can sort of tell she's thinking that. And Daphne asks, what did you do? And Morgan said he had the servants take Bramwell back to your house. And Daphne sort of going, "Morgan, you shouldn't have had him moved. He could die." And Bramwell's like, "I don't care." Morgan says, "I don't care if Bramwell dies." So Daphne leaves, and they ask her, "Where are you going?" "I'm gonna go take care of Bramwell." And it's a really good tense moment between all of them. And you have Morgan ask something really, again, Morgan is being set up as your antagonist for this arc, and a lot of episodes hinge on that. But like I said before, the most episodes that hinge on that are the ones where Morgan and Bramwell are in those same episodes, and this one too. Even after the duel, you can sense Morgan just hates Bramwell still. He wishes he would have died. Obviously Bramwell didn't die. And we see Daphne, by the way, Catherine did not answer Morgan when he said, "Would you like to go be with Bramwell too?" Catherine did not answer him. And then you see the old house, you see Bramwell, and laying in bed, he looks uncomfortable to a degree. Again, he's supposed to act like he just got shot. So Daphne's there with him. She fixes up the bandages, or she dresses his wound. And she said, "You have to wait for the doctor." And he said, "You fixed my wound, or you dressed my wound?" And he's like, "You forget my dad was a doctor, or my father was a doctor." I don't understand how Bramwell would forget that if he's been in love with Catherine this whole time. It could just be the writers, having some fun. I think that's honestly what this is. The writers are just having some fun with Daphne and Jonathan's character, Daphne and Bramwell, which is good. You sort of want that humor side of it, because there was this big tense, serious moment, right? So, and after he asked where Bramwell asked where his mother went to. He's talking about Josette, and he said she went to go get the doctor, and he says, "How does it look?" And Bramwell asked Daphne, "How does his wound look?" And he goes, "You're gonna have to wait." She goes, "You're gonna have to wait for the doctor to look at it." And we go we go back to the great house, and Morgan insists on an answer from Catherine. He goes, "I didn't get an answer earlier from you, Catherine. Would you like to go be with Bramwell?" And he's really pushing it here. She goes, "I don't know. I just don't know how to react to any of this." And she goes, "You both could be killed. You both still could be killed." And she looks in the direction of the old house. She stares at the window, and he says that. He says, "You realize you're staring at the old house, right?" Um, she then turns and starts kissing him. The scene cuts, and then we cut to the I want to. It's not the blue whale. It's the eagle. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a bar sighting. Yes, yes, and not only that, James Storm. James Storm is in this goddamn episode. And who's he? You ask? No, he's not. He's not playing Judah Zachary. His name is Gerard Stiles. So Gerard Stiles, James Storm's character, is in this episode. Now you saw in the other 1840 parallel, the 1840 time, the normal time, that Gerard Stiles was a bit of a medium, and here Gerard Stiles is presenting himself as a bit of a medium with second sight, if you will, or to a degree of where to find somebody. And he says, "Well, how can I help you?" And Kendrick Young has summoned him. He said, "Well, how did you hear me?" He goes, I asked about you around town." So Kendrick Young and Gerard Stiles are talking in the blue, and I almost want to say, I keep wanting to say the blue whale. You have to forgive me. The eagle, the eagle. God damn it, the eagle, the eagle. And Kendrick Young explains the situation with what's going on with Stella. He can't find her. He says the Collins family just said she left without a forwarding address. He doesn't believe them. And I like Gerard Stiles. I love the way James Storm plays this here. He says, "You're making a very serious accusation. Have you gone to the police?" Which is a great character question. It makes the character of Gerard Stiles all the more credible in this episode, which is great. And Kendrick Young says yes, but they won't do anything without proof because of Collins' money. It's more the proof part they're looking for. Like, you can't prove she didn't leave just because she didn't leave a forwarding address. That's not enough evidence. It probably would be today. I don't know. But so, of course, Gerard Stiles, James Storm's character, agrees to help him for a price. It's all about the Benjamins for Mr. Gerard Stiles, ladies and gentlemen. Show me. Have you seen Jerry Maguire? Show me the money. And that's what basically Gerard Stiles is about. So Gerard Stiles and Kendrick Young leave the Eagle. God, that's so hard for me to not call it the Blue Whale. And we learn that we see Daphne in the great house, and we see Catherine and Morgan coming back, and she goes, "I've been waiting for you for over an hour. Where did you go?" And they tell her, "We went into the village. We just got married." And Daphne can't believe it. She's in shock, and eh, without really Morgan hearing it, because Morgan's like also she says, "What about more? What about Bramwell?" Bramwell was shot, and even Morgan finally says, "Well, I could feel some sympathy for Bramwell because we just got married." Um, so Morgan, goes to get the wine, and Daphne scolds Catherine. She goes, "How could you do this? He's in pain." She goes, "This was the only way we could do it. He's not mobile right now. We had to get married. He would just interrupted the wedding again." And Daphne defends Bramwell. She says, "No, he wouldn't have." And Catherine says, "You don't know him the way I do." And it gives us the inclination right away that perhaps, most likely, that Catherine, I take it that Catherine is a lot older than what um, Daphne is. I want to say Daphne, I'm going to take it that Daphne's supposed to be in her 20s, maybe 22, 23, and maybe Catherine is supposed to be within her early 30s, making them years apart. That's my interpretation of it. If you think I'm wrong, please let me know. I don't think I am. I think that's sort of my why I think Catherine is saying it, because Catherine is saying, "Hey, I'm older than you. I know him longer than what you've known him." Um, and which is right, which is true. She has known Bramwell longer than what Catherine has known Bramwell longer than what Daphne's known him. And finally, Morgan comes back with the champagne. He's asking around about champagne. There's a knock on the door, ladies and gentlemen. And he goes, "I'll be right back." Morgan goes, "I'll be right back, my darling." And he closes the drawing room door. And I sort of think if I honestly think that Morgan thought this was Bramwell. And I'm thinking, there's no way this is Bramwell. It's not. It's Kendrick Young and Gerard Stiles. And even Morgan Collins recognizes Gerard Stiles. Gerard Stiles, keep in mind, did say to Kendrick Young he used to work for the Collins family. Um, he used to work for their fishing fleet. He was a fisherman. So, and there was, by the way, the original Gerard Stiles, the original 1840 Gerard Stiles, was a fisherman too. Um, so you have you have Gerard Stiles and Kendrick Young being welcomed into Collinwood at first, and until uh, Kendrick Young reveals himself as Stella's brother, and then Morgan realizes, "Oh shit, that is Stella's brother." And he tells Kendrick, "Look, I told you the truth. I told you your sister's not here." And Kendrick Young argues with Morgan, saying that I will leave you people alone when I find my sister. When you let me know the truth, basically he's all but calling Morgan a liar, which you got to applaud Kendrick for. He's sticking to his guns, and he's not wrong. But James Storms Gerard Stiles says, "No, let's leave." He told us to leave. Let's leave. And it's like, if Gerard Stiles say that, he's got something. And he grabs his handkerchief, and he goes, once they leave, you see him in the woods, and he says, and Kendrick sounds like, "Why did we leave? Why did we leave? I don't understand. Why did we leave?" Gerard Stiles says, "Because your sister isn't in that house, but I think I know where she might. But I did find something. I felt something. I didn't feel her presence there. So he did find something. We need to go to the tool shed." We see Daphne back at the old house, and after Daphne tells, um, when Daphne was at the great house, she told Catherine she should tell Bramwell she got married. Catherine's like, "I'm not doing that." So Daphne goes to the old house and tells Bramwell that Morgan and Catherine are indeed married. So not only did a duel happen in this episode, a marriage finally happened too. Pretty soon we're going to have that lottery, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. They're afraid of money. Actually, that's not what they're afraid of. But the lottery's up a lot now, actually. But all kidding aside, so Bramwell looks really upset, and they cut to Kendrick Young and James Storms Gerard Stiles having some shovels, and he says, "We dig here." and there is a body. That's exactly how every Dark Shadows episode should end. And there is a body. I love that line from James Thorpe. It is the line of this episode. Absolutely great. 1000%. It was pure entertainment. Just like, it's so criminally underrated, this line. You got to go check out this episode. Episode 1207. I'll do episode 1208 tomorrow. Tonight I'll have a read along for To Be Night and Gal. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great rest of you folks' day. Bye bye.